Well, hi there, and welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. I'm Debbie Georgiani with Jerry Usher, and as we've been saying for 7+ years, you're the key person. You're the one we want to hear from, you're the one we need, and we really expect you to step into the Take Two family and share your insights, your wisdom, your knowledge, your experience of the topics that we introduce. And Jerry, you put this topic on the calendar. Why?
Well, because my dog Duke, who's a good boy, he shows his love in so many different ways. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful how our pets really show affection for us, whether they can't think rationally like us, like I love this person and I'm going to go up and, do something nice for them. I don't think dogs or pets think rationally, but they know intuitively how to show their appreciation, their affection, and their love. And so today on the program, we want to hear from you, Take Two family. If you have a pet, how does that pet show its love for you? Okay, there are 1,000 different ways this could be experienced. 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986.
And I want to thank our dear friend and Take Two family member, John, who shared a beautiful picture of a wonderful, loving pet. And also, John shared some kind words for me, saying that he could totally understand the situation that I experienced a couple days ago with my neighbor's dogs that are very wild. Okay, that's the nicest way I can say it. They're just wild, and so it was very traumatizing. And so they didn't show their love. They didn't. But my little Gracie, who died last year of 14 years, she was just a precious Maltese, beautiful little face. She looked like a stuffed animal. She was so cute. She showed her love, Jerry, by allowing us to live in the home with her.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, she had a little bit of an air about her. When we would come home, Marty and I from work, she kind of would look at us like, "You're home? Really?" I mean, it was like an invasion of her territory.
Yeah, her space. Yeah, I know.
No, but she showed her love. She was precious. But Duke is very, very loving, and most pets are, okay? And that's a beautiful thing. And so how does your pet show their love for you in ways that are very unique? And I think it definitely glorifies God and the creation that God had in mind for all of us to experience different levels of love and acceptance and beauty and grace and all sorts of things, right, in God's creations. So let's talk about our beautiful pets. How does your pet show their love for you? It could be a dog, a cat. Some have, I know a lot of people have very strong attachments to horses, Jerry.
Mm-hmm. And birds and reptiles and turtles and all kinds of things. So, all right, Take Two family, this is yours. It is not a heavy-hitting show today, a little bit lighter, but we've done shows on pets in the past, and they have been very, very popular. You love your pets. You love your animals, those gifts that God has given you. So call up and share with us how they show love for you, but you show love for them, kind of the exchange of affection for one another with your pet. 833-288-3986. And a couple of the ways that Duke shows his love for me, Debbie, is that he is a kisser. I mean, this dog he licks your face. He would do it nonstop if you didn't pull your face away.
Oh my goodness! So he goes right for the face.
Oh yeah, it's just precious, and I love it. I actually love that. And another way he shows his love for me is whether I'm in bed at night, laying on my back, or on my recliner watching TV, he gets up right in my lap and just curls up in a little ball and puts his head over the side of my leg and goes to sleep.
Oh, so basically you have to sit very still and can't move.
Yeah. If something's not within reach, I don't need it at the time.
That sounds a little restrictive, but okay. No, I understand that. Gracie used to do the same thing. She actually would we made the mistake. We had a sitter that allowed Gracie to come into the bed. And so she never used to sleep in the bed. But then when that started with this sitter, who absolutely loved to have all her animals in bed with her, Gracie got very spoiled by that. And so she would position herself where she would go right up against Marty's back, and Marty couldn't move all night, like literally, and it caused back problems.
No.
Yeah, because she got talk about being very territorial. It's like now she was like, I own this, and then she would sit in a way that almost looked like one of those statues. Do you ever see those statues of that where the animal is at the front of the gates of something, like a lion or something, and they're very proud, and they kind of have their head very high.
Yeah.
That's how she would sleep.
Amazing. 833-288 EWTN, 833-288-3986. I've mentioned my housemate Harvey on the program before, a beautiful gentleman. And Duke goes into Harvey's bedroom, and he will actually burrow down into the covers, Harvey tells me, and then turn around and kind of come back up. But he will stay under, totally, completely covered until he's warm enough. Then it gets too warm, and then he comes out and just lays on the side of the bed. So he has a lot of love for Harvey, too.
Can they smother themselves by doing that?
I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what happens if he wraps himself in so many like covers and blankets and he can't get out?
Oh, he's way too smart for that.
Oh, that's right. He's a smart good boy.
He's a smart good boy.
And I tried to get Jerry to have Duke make an appearance on YouTube or Facebook. Maybe someday he will, and you'll see how adorable this little puppy is. I call him a puppy because he just looks like a puppy and he acts like a puppy. But he's what, about 4 or 5 years old?
Yeah, he's about at least 5, maybe 6. But yeah, there's so much puppy in him. If you tell him you want to go for a walk.
Oh, stop. Don't even do that.
He starts zipping around the living room, just nonstop, up on the recliners and down around this corner. And
yeah.
Yeah, he's exciting.
So I have to tell the Take Two family this because you always want to hear like how do you and Jerry, what's your friendship like? How do you discuss things? Well, this is what I do sometimes just to mess with Jerry. When we're on the phone, if I'm on speaker or something, I'll say, Jerry, am I on speaker? And then he'll say yes, and I'll say, Duke, you want to go for a walk? Because then Jerry goes, thanks a lot, Debbie. See you later.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing, though. I don't mean to do that to you, but it is classic. Yeah. Two open phone lines, Jerry.
Yeah, you may own a reptile that shows you love. I don't know if I could do that. How about a bird? Maybe you own a parrot that tells you it loves you, or a cat, or a dog, or a horse, or whatever you have as a pet. How does it show you love? 833-288-3986. Your calls are next, starting with Bobby in South Dakota.
This is a Messy Family Minute with Mike and Alicia Hernan. We talk a lot about the importance of family culture, but what is it? Family culture is an unwritten set of expectations, beliefs, and values. It's a way of life that confers identity, belonging, and mission on its members. You have a family culture in your home already, whether you realize it or not. And as parents and even grandparents, we have to ask, what are the unspoken messages we are communicating to our children?
When a family culture is dysfunctional, children learn lessons they take into adulthood which are hard to unlearn. But in strong, healthy families, the culture exponentially magnifies parenting and keeps kids doing the right thing. As they say in the business world, culture beats strategy every time. A family's culture is a powerful force that sends messages more clearly than words alone. It is essential that you and your spouse are intentional and thoughtful about the culture you are stewarding within your home.
For more free resources on building your family culture, visit us at messyfamilyminute.org.
Do you love to read great books? How about fellowshipping online with like-minded people? It's all in one place, the Inspired by Faith Book and Fellowship Club. You'll find out all you need to know when you log on to standtalltoday.com and click on the Book Club tab at the top of the page. Hundreds of people are already making great use of their free membership. What about you? Go to standtalltoday.com and sign up for the Inspired by Faith Book and Fellowship Club today.
Couple open phone lines here on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us about your pet, why your pet is so special. You can brag about your pet, even if you do have a pet that's not so cute and nice. You could share that as well. We cover things from all angles. 833-288-3986. Please fill up those last two phone lines, and then we can have a very robust discussion. Jerry, before I mention the Sacred Heart of Jesus mosaic plaque, there's somebody special that we know and love, and it's his birthday today. Would you like to share?
Well, that is the program director at EWTN, Mr. Tom Price. I just saw that his lovely and talented wife, Adrienne, posted on Facebook a happy birthday wish for him. So we want to join our voices and voices and prayers of all of the Take Two family for Tom on his birthday today. He's been at EWTN for, I'm going to guess, over 25 years. I don't know for sure, but
and he's talented himself. He's an accomplished drummer too.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. I want to be like Tom when I grow up. I want to play the drums. And you're so right about his beautiful wife, Adrienne. She is so talented. What a beautiful, angelic voice she has. And she listens to Take Two. So if you guys are listening, Adrienne and Tom, happy birthday, Tom. And Adrienne, we love you so very, very much. Okay, before we get to our friend Bobby, let me share with our listeners, Jerry, Sacred Heart of Jesus mosaic plaque. This beautiful image of the Sacred Heart of Jesus is printed on gold foil with a mosaic background. It is mounted on a gold painted board and includes a metal hook for hanging. On the back of the plaque is a prayer to the Sacred Heart and the promise Christ himself made, I will bless every place where a picture of my heart shall be exposed and honored. It's imported from Italy. Doesn't get much better than that. And it's about 4 inches and 4 inches by 6 inches. Many other images are available. Please visit EWTNRC.com and search for mosaic plaques to visit all options. And to view all options. Available now on EWTNRC.com. Free standard shipping, online orders, $75 or more. You get this. You just have to put the free in the checkout. That's a great advantage there. And I added the part about it doesn't get any better when it's imported by Italy, and I agree. I really think the objects we get and the images we get from Italy are very well done. I just do.
Yeah.
And
Good.
It's not because I'm Italian. I have a lot of things from Italy. I noticed that when I turn it around or turn it upside down and it says made in Italy, it just seems heavier and nicer and well done.
Well, Jeff Burson, our social media manager, just told us it's Father Mitch Pacwa's birthday today as well.
Wow, they share birthdays.
I bet there are balloons and streamers and confetti all through the EWTN offices and studios. And Matt Swain from the Sunrise Morning Show.
Wow. So you got Matt Swain, you got Father Mitch Pacwa, you've got Tom Price. Wow. It doesn't get any better than that, the trifecta on July 27th. That is awesome.
Okay, let's go to the calls. We're talking about your pets today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. How much you love them, how important they are to you. Give a shout out about your pet. And most importantly, do they have any kind of unique ways of showing you their affection and how much they appreciate you? We're going to go to Bobby first in Alexandria, South Dakota, listening on Real Presence Radio. Hi, Bobby.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Great topic. Mine will be past tense because currently I have no pet. But for the most part, I've had cats over the years. A couple of dogs, but I had some cats. And they were always strays. They showed up. Okay, fine, let it in. That's fine. And they would show that they really would. The cat is a weird, elusive creature that you only see once in a while when it wants to pop out. But they would show their affection, some of them, by shedding all over the house and itching and stuff. But they would also climb up on my lap and purr in my eye or purr in my nose or something like that, or my ear, and sometimes give my hand a bath. They'd be sitting on the couch with me, and they'd start giving my arm a bath. And I said, okay, well, thank you for the grooming. And that's the way they did that. But I had another pet that was a little more off the wall as far as affection. This was back in the 70s. And I had a 10-gallon community aquarium, freshwater fish. And I thought it was so cool because you look at the fish, they swim around, you feed them, you clean the glass and everything, but they're just relaxing and wonderful to watch. And honest to Pete, if I'm lying, I'm dying. I had a couple of angel fishes in there, among others, guppies and neon tetras and stuff. But this one angelfish, whenever it'd see me coming across the room to look in the tank and then to feed, whether I fed them or not, I already had. This one fish would twitch around like crazy, get to the top of the water, to the surface with its head. I gently put my finger on the surface, and this crazy fish would rub its head against my finger, and I thought that was the coolest thing.
Oh,
Wow.
I love that.
It's an angelfish. I think, oh yeah, fish don't have emotions, but this kid did, and it broke my heart when he passed away. I cried, but so that's my pet stories, and they have an interesting way of showing affection and love, and also, if I'll love you if you feed me now. Okay, fine, you can have my hot dog. I get it. So, so that's the way that.
Wow, Bobby, thanks for being a part of the program today. And thanks for taking in all those strays. You have done a wonderful humanitarian work so many times in your life. And you mentioned about the cat giving you the bath on your, I think you said your arm. Actually, I have a lot of what I call Duke wounds.
Oh,
and that
he
is,
does.
if I have bare arms and I'm holding Duke or he's on my lap, if somebody outside goes by with a dog, he plants his legs and jumps off to go bark at the window, and usually will lacerate one of my arms on the way over to the window. And then of course he'll come up, even if I have a Band-Aid on, and he'll be wanting to lick my wounds. I guess is that something that's innate to dogs?
They try to heal. Dogs
Okay,
try to heal everything. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's why they say dogs can pick up cancer, and people that have illness, they try to fix that. That just goes to show his nurturing side of him and the loving side of him. But Bobby, I can attest to that. One time Jerry visited here for a speaking engagement in Arizona, and he was planning on, I think, wearing short sleeves, and I said, no, I think you need to wear long sleeves. You look like you've been beat up, because the dog had like scratched away on both his arms. It was pretty brutal. He looked like he'd been through a fight or something. What do you think?
Yeah, well, they don't mean to do that. They don't know it. I've been scratched before because they would get overly affectionate or overly excited. And it'd be like, wow, you made me take a blood test, but I never took it personal. Right.
Well, Bobby, before we let you go, you talked about the cats. I'm not a big cat person, although I like cats. I think kittens are adorable. But my girlfriend is, and she's always had cats, and and they're very smart, very, very smart. And she sends pictures and posts it on Facebook all the time of the cat, showing up at just the right time to comfort them, or showing up to even give them a scalp massage. The one cat does this, likes to do that. It's just beautiful. But going back to the fish story that you shared, I just wanted to say, as you were sharing it, I was thinking, wow, even in the smallest of creatures that God had planned for us to interact with and to live with and to enjoy and to experience, God places very unique characteristics. That fish was being truly authentic to what it was designed to be. And it just, when you see a certain creature of God go, like, if I can say this the right way, above and beyond what they were created to be, and they make that connection with us, it's so amazing. Like, sometimes you go, well, this just has to be God, right? It has to be God that God is allowing this to happen, because this fish doesn't have the intellect, the ability to do that, but yet it does. And I find that that's what's so fascinating and yet so mysterious about God's creatures, the animals. I think it's an amazing ability that God has allowed us to experience, and it does, I think, connect us and point us right back to the divine. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. You made me remember one thing. I'm not going to monopolize the entire hour, but I live in a small town, and there are a lot of mourning doves in town, and I hear them singing in the morning, and I'll be outside working on a project, and they will get really close to me sometimes and just look at me, or they'll flutter over to me. And it's some sort of connection that I just appreciate, and I don't have to understand it. But you're right. That they're functioning on that which is divine through their intellect or their spirit. And you're dead on. You're spot on with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, all of creation gives God glory and praise. We know that from the Bible. And when a created thing, even a tree is perfectly itself as it grows and shoots up toward its creator and fulfills its perfect role in this life, not any sort of human thing. But anyway, I can relate to what you're saying, Bobby. Thank you so much. You might imagine we got jam-packed phone lines here as we want to hear about how your pet shows love for you today on Take Two.
Mm-hmm. This is a great conversation. I was hesitant to enter into this because of my bad experience with my neighbor's dogs, but now I feel better now. This is actually quite healing for me. So I appreciate it, Jerry. You could add this. You can add these topics anytime in the future.
All right. Frederica in San Antonio, Texas, listening on Guadalupe Radio Network. Hello, Frederica. How are you?
Hello, lovely Debbie and Jerry. Well,
Hi.
today when we rejoice in the gift God has given us in his big and little creatures, I wanted to take just a minute to thank you both, as well as the Take Two family, for your graciousness, your faithfulness. You have been my lifeline, and these are tears of joy. This is the third time I call, and I wanted to celebrate the gift of God's healing through your beautiful ministry, as well as my dog Logan. I first called when my husband Carlos, and he was on the book, was battling cancer thereafter, after he passed away. And I got, wonderful prayers, even people that had heard the program in my church were kind enough to come. Was that you on the radio? And I thought, I was just being inconspicuous. But anyway, somebody had to listen. But today, I just wanted to let you know that I've healed well from COVID, that during this time of confinement, Logan, who is a little rescue that my husband rescued, he really helped me come out of, not have the pity parties. And throughout, the time where I come home and I have to face, an empty home, Jerry and Debbie, it's so nice to know that Logan is going to celebrate with a parade. No matter if I'm gone 2 hours or 8, he really always throws a parade all around the apartment. He's very low maintenance. He knows that sometimes I neglect the phone, so when the phone rings, he starts barking like like telling me the phone is ringing. And this little dog has not ever been trained for anything. He's also very protective, so therefore, I don't need any kind of security. He is the best security. And during my confinement, during COVID, he gave me a purpose to, okay, you need to get up and you need to do this. And he also kept, that confident hope and a lovely connection with my husband, just saying, through God's grace, everything is going to be okay. So I am 65 years old. I was raised with dogs as an only child. My parents thought, it would be a good idea for me not to be the center of attention. And at a certain point when I was about 8 years old, I decided I was going to leave home because, according to me, my parents loved the dogs more than they did me because, I would get reprimanded for bad behavior, and the dogs did, so I was sort of like, oh, I know, I'm leaving home. Well, I just went around the corner and came back. Anyway, I just wanted to say, in such a sweet occasion like today, singing God's divine creation, and as you very well said, Miss Debbie, the healing graces that we have through his providential care, but also through these little creatures. I can tell you that I couldn't be on my way to restore my joy without this little creature. Aww. So I thank God. I thank you for allowing me to just give the Lord, you, and my little faithful companion just a little credit. And kudos to you both for being absolutely magnificent, amazing, and very kind to the known and to the unknown. I learned so much from you, and when I go to work, I try to stand tall and not only stand for our Lord, but sometimes just be of good cheer, even if I don't feel like it. And if I did not have the vitamins that you provide to my soul, I think I would be somewhat of a bitter person. So with that, I will say thank you. My heart overflows with gratitude.
Oh, bless your heart. Well, don't leave us yet, Frederica. You hear that music. So we're going to have to, if you can, just to hold on for just a few more minutes, and we want to come back to you and just share some of our thoughts about the wonderful comments you shared on this show today. We're talking about our pets and how they show their love for us. Please, all the other callers, hang on. We'll get to you when we come back.
Vivi la verità, vivi cattolico.
Mabuhay sa katotohanan. Isabuhay ang pagiging katoliko.
Vivez selon la vérité. Vivez en catholique.
In any language, it means the same. Live truth. Live Catholic. EWTN.
The most original and exclusive Catholic content is on EWTN Radio.
My life is split between the search for the supernatural and the retelling of the credible and verifiable accounts of true instances of miracles. I think that people are inspired hearing these stories, and it bolsters people's faith to spend even just a few moments with the miraculous.
The Miracle Hunter with Michael O'Neill, Saturday afternoon, 1 Eastern on EWTN Radio.
This is Debbie Georgiani. If you missed part of today's show, catch the encore tonight at midnight Eastern. Check out the podcast anytime at EWTNradio.net and click podcasts.
EWTN is everywhere. EWTN radio programming is provided free of charge to over 500 domestic and international AM and FM radio stations. It's a great teaching tool for Catholics and non-Catholics alike. For a complete list of EWTN AM and FM stations across America, visit EWTNradio.net. At the bottom of the page, click Affiliates. EWTN, the Global Catholic Network.
EWTN Religious Catalog is your online destination for Catholic books, DVDs, rosaries, and devotionals, and every purchase directly supports EWTN's mission. Buy Catholic. Shop EWTNRC.com today.
Hi, this is Dr. David Anders. Are you curious about the Catholic faith and need answers? Call to Communion is the show for you. Today at 2 p.m. Eastern. Now back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
We're so glad you're with us today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We're talking about our pets today, and so we need Jennifer and Ella Grace and Lydia and Helen and Jeff to hang on. We're talking with our dear friend Frederica in San Antonio, Texas. First, I just want to say thank you so very, very much. Jerry and I on the break both shared, we were moved with emotion at the very kind words. Just to make sure we didn't pay you $5 to say anything or anything like that. I just want to make sure that our Take Two listeners know that you called it with your free will to share whatever you wanted to share. And I'm just a little joke there, Frederica. But in all seriousness, we're so happy you're doing well. You've been through a lot. We could hear Logan in the background, and I think that is just hilarious. I mean, definitely Logan wanted to share some things in dog talk, and I love that. And so you're a beautiful soul, and we want for you continued blessings. And like you said, to restore your joy. We want your joy to be restored and to stay with you all the days of your life. That's what we want for you. Now, you did make one comment. You said that when you shared the prayer intentions about your husband on our show, you kind of maybe thought that it was going to get unnoticed. And I am so grateful to God that your parish community stepped up and said, hey, we heard the broadcast and we are praying. That's exactly what Jerry and I, that's our mission, is to get it out there far and wide. That's why we started Stand Tall, the ministry. We want to get it out there far and wide, that we're together in this as the mystical body of Christ. And when you're hurting, Frederica, when you're suffering, we're suffering, because that's how the body of Christ works. So I just want to say thank you so very much. And please thank those parishioners that stepped up and said, hey, we heard the broadcast and we're praying for you. What do you think?
That is lovely, Debbie. I'm very, very grateful, and it even lent itself as those ladies were saying, "Oh, that's her Frederica. Who else could it be?" And I felt like, oh my God, I just wanted to be sort of invisible. I was reaching out to my Take Two family. I don't want to worry anybody in the church, but you are so right. We are a family. We are in this together. God brings us together, and He maintains it. So it was a beautiful. To me, it was like an embrace from heaven. And that is, every time that I go to church, that is what I feel. I feel enveloped by my parish family, and of course by the wealth, richness, kindness that we have in the Take Two family. So, Debbie, as always, you and Jerry have perfect and eloquent words, and I feel like I sit with you every time I listen to the program, and sitting at the table with it's Carlos, you, Jerry, and God in the middle of it. So forever grateful. Words could never express my gratitude.
Well, you did pretty well, Frederica. You have kind of made us both. You've humbled us, with your words, and we're so very, very grateful. But we're so happy to have you as part of the Take Two family as well, and everybody else as well. So, Frederica, thank you for your call, and we will hear from you again. I hope sometime very, very soon. Want to go to email real quick. Sure. Maria emailed take2@ewtn.com, and Maria says, "My 3 cats rub my legs, and one of them is a kisser. All of my cats love to lay against me or on my lap. One nips my legs when I go out for a while." She says, "I listen on the Station of the Cross."
I love that. That is so sweet.
Dave on YouTube, watching on YouTube. Hi, everybody there. Dave says, "While annoying at times, our German Shepherd barks ferociously when the doorbell rings as a means of warning the quote-unquote intruder that she is protecting everyone inside."
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I don't think I'd try to get into a house with a German Shepherd barking inside.
True, but I have to tell you something. Gracie used to have a German Shepherd bark. There were people on the other side of the door that they actually would say, "Would you please pull back your dog?" And she was only 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
She had a very loud bark. It was hilarious. Frederica was referencing Stand Tall when she mentioned that, and I just wanted for our listeners, please visit us at standtalltoday.com. That's our outreach ministry, standtalltoday.com. Okay, back to the phones we shall go. We're going to Ella Grace. I love that. I love just saying it. Ella Grace in Ohio. Sirius XM 130 is the way she's listening. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, Ella Grace.
Hello.
Tell us about your pet.
I have a rabbit. She's a mini wasp. Whenever I get home from being away, even just at work or practice or something, she'll run up to me, making a motor noise. She'll walk up my feet or dizzy me, or binky down the hallway.
Hey, Ella Grace, let me just jump in for a quick second. If your radio is on, we're hearing both you and your voice on the radio. Can you turn your radio down that's close to you there so we can hear you?
I'm at work. Give me one.
Okay, she's at work. Did you say she's at work?
I don't know, yeah, but it's just a quick reminder for all listeners. There's a broadcast delay. That's the reason why. So it's about a 5 or 7 second delay. So if you're talking to us live here on the show, then it comes out about 7 seconds later, and the audio feeds are competing with each other. So Ella Grace just dropped off the line there. Please feel free to call back. We would love to hear about your pet rabbit that you were going to share with us. Yeah. So please feel free to join us.
And Ella Grace, if you're listening, because I think you might have said you're at work, you might have said that. If you're listening and it has to do about your rabbit, please call back. A lot of people don't know this, but my very first pet was a rabbit, long, what do they call them, lop-eared rabbits with the long ears that touch the ground. Yeah, just beautiful. And my rabbit was named Nibbles, and I used to put it on a leash, and it would walk like a dog. People thought it was a dog. It was very smart.
All right. You think I go over the top with Duke?
Huh?
You think I go over the top with Duke? Now, you had a rabbit that walked like a dog.
I was only like 11 years old, though. I wanted a dog. My mother wouldn't get us a dog, so I put Nibbles on a leash.
Okay. All right,
I'm
Lydia.
just telling the truth. There you go.
Midland, Texas. Lydia, listening on Guadalupe Radio Network. Hi, Lydia.
Hi there. How you doing?
All right, better now that you called.
I just want to tell you, I told the person that I guess lets me get on the air with you.
Matt.
I told yes. His name is Max.
Matt.
Okay, Matt. He's a nice guy. I just wanted to say I told him a story about Benji, but I also forgot to tell him a story about my dog Daisy. And Benji, he's my brother's dog, and he looks just like Benji, the one in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he's such a well, he was my brother's dog, but my brother died, and now I had to adopt Benji because if he's looking at me like, well, who's going to take care of me now? And I'm thinking, well, hey, don't worry about that. I'm going to take care of you. And he's such a wonderful dog. He gets on his little hind legs and kind of begs for attention, and I have to, and because my brother spoiled him like crazy, and I can't spoil him like my brother, but I do love him and I do take care of him. And sometimes my son has to go to the hospital, and I have to have him in care with somebody else. And I come back home in the ambulance, and Benji's barking at me like, wow, 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 wow. Like, well, where you been? And I'm so glad you're home and all this stuff. And he's so excited. And then he comes back to his little bed and everything. He's okay. So I have to share that story with you. But then I have to share another story about my Daisy, because a while ago that guy was talking about, God's little pet. Well, Daisy, she was in the backyard, and I live out in the country. And she was barking and barking. And I'm thinking, what are you barking at? And I went up, I opened the patio door, and I hear a hissing. And I said, oh, no. So there was a rattlesnake in my patio. And so I went and got a shovel. Something told me, don't get scared, don't get scared. It's going to be okay. So I went and got me a shovel and some gas. And I got the gas to bring the snake out, and then I killed him. And that's because they hit me. Can you believe that? And people tell me, well, did you get scared? And I said, no, because the angels were there with me, because the angel was telling Daisy to let me know.
Yeah, yeah. You really have a beautiful, precious love for dogs. It's very obvious because you get excited about talking about them, and that's a beautiful thing. And I think every time we do that, Lydia, I agree with Jerry. We are just honoring God and glorifying God, that God spent the quote unquote time to create all of this for us, and you recognize that. I just love that about you. Thank you for being so enthusiastic about pets.
And I want to tell you, you guys are awesome. I mean, you guys are so inspirational. I mean, I can't call you all the time because I know you got limits. And I would call you every day if I could, but I know everybody else wants to talk to you too. But I just want to tell you, I listen to you on the radio, and I'm thinking, oh, my God, this is good. This is awesome. And then I listen to the midnight hour when you guys come on later.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Wow, you are dedicated. You're going to get some kind of virtual award from us. We don't know what it is, but you'll get something that's virtual, though, Lydia.
I just want to tell you that you guys bring out so many subjects and so many issues, that because we all have our issues. We all have our crosses to carry, and I think of God, Jesus, all the time. And I'm thinking, oh my God, every time I do it, I say my rosary every day, and I thank God for everything that He gives me. I mean, I look at the birds and I feed the birds. Because I even got a hummingbird. I got the bird seed for the birds because they get hungry and they get thirsty. So I always tell people, please put a hummingbird feeder out there for the hummingbirds, because they all get so thirsty and they don't know where to go for the liquid. So please just put because the dollar store has some hummingbird feeders real cheap,
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Lydia, God bless you. I echo everything that Debbie said. You've got a real zeal for life and for your dog. So thank you for sharing with us on the show today. Appreciate that so much. I don't want to keep talking about Duke, but one thing she mentioned, she mentioned one of her dogs gets up on its hind legs. Yes. And when I'm walking Duke, he is so eager to get to a certain point. Mm-hmm. He will hop on his hind legs for like 20 to 30 feet. I'm talking a long distance.
So like a rabbit.
I've had other people walking their dogs look at that and scratch their heads and go, what is that dog doing? He just wants to get where he's going. He's hopping, hop, hop, hop. Like a rabbit,
he thinks he's a rabbit, yeah. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so before we go back to the phones, Ella Grace has called back, so we'll go to her next. But I just got a text message from one of our family members. They said, yes, Debbie, it is called lop-eared rabbits. I knew that was what it was. I just wanted to make sure. Lop-eared rabbits, and they wanted to know what color my nibbles was, because most lop-eareds are white and brown. Mine was jet black with a little white. It almost looked like a priest. It was so beautiful. I wish I had a picture of Nibbles. I can't find a picture, but I maybe I'll try to Google search the closest one. Nibbles was really beautiful, and we ended up giving her because I got busy with golf and I couldn't take care of Nibbles. We ended up giving her to my mom's friend, Pat, who it was just amazing. And Pat was a former nun who went on to get married and have a huge family. And Pat and my mom grew up together. They all grew up with Father Benedict Rochelle at the time before he was Father Benedict Rochelle. But anyway, Pat ended up taking Nibbles for the rest of Nibbles' life.
Beautiful.
Good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you said Ella Grace is back, listening on
Mhm.
Sirius XM 130 in Ohio. Ella Grace, sorry we had the audio problem with you before, but welcome back.
Hello.
Hi. What would you like to tell us about your rabbit? We can't wait to hear this.
Well, I adopted her when she was 3, shortly, like a couple months after my grandma died. Served to help cope as like the therapy animal. And she was very skittish at first. I think some bad things had happened. She still doesn't like being picked up. But once she got attached to us, she got very attached to us. And now I think we're her safe place and her security. And it not only helps me because I feel like now I have something to take care of. Now I have something that I should work for because I have that rabbit. But also she loves us, and she'll run to us, and she'll walk at our feet, and she'll give us nose kisses, and precious.
Yeah. Well, Ella, I don't know when you were calling back if you heard me. I kind of was stalling for time for you to call back, and I was sharing about my rabbit story growing up, and I was sharing with Jerry that I used to put my rabbit on a leash like a dog because it acted so loving and so like a little puppy. And so it sounds like your rabbit. What's your rabbit's name? And I love the way the rabbit knows and feels secure with you. I love that.
Her name is Penny.
Penny, I love that. What color is your rabbit?
She's a broken brown and white.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah, Ella Grace, what you shared here is really very beautiful, and you were starting to kind of go in the direction of saying that this gives you another sense of purpose in life. And a lot of people might see that as trivial, but it's not. You mentioned you adopted this rabbit after your grandmother died. It helped you with the process that you were going through at the time. I think it was very, very beautiful. And now the rabbit indeed probably sees this as a safe place and security. And you mentioned that it really adds to your sense of purpose in life. And I think that's just something very important, that we all have those things in our lives, along with the bigger purpose in life, whatever our vocation or state in life is. But these littler ones, I think, Debbie, also add to our feed our souls as well, I guess is what
Absolutely.
I'm trying to say.
Couldn't agree more. Ella, we're so glad, and I love your name, Ella Grace, so beautiful. We're so glad you called back. Thank you so much for gracing the conversation and being so, you hung in there and got back in. And we want to thank Matt Gabinski for doing such fine work at really navigating all the calls that are coming. We have an abundance of calls. And so I'll defer it to Jerry. What are we doing? Are we going to revisit this topic? Because we have a very important topic that we moved twice, and I know a lot of our listeners want us to address that as well.
Yeah, we're going to talk about troubled teens tomorrow. If you have teens in your life, whether they're your own, somebody else's, you're a teacher, whatever, a lot of teens are really troubled today. And we're going to ask you that question tomorrow. In the meantime, right before we go back to the calls, the Chaplet of Divine Mercy is heard Monday through Friday morning here on EWTN Radio at 5 a.m. Eastern Time, and you can join Catholics around the world as we recall in prayer the devotion of St. Faustina to our Lord, and of course our Lord's Passion, which brought us redemption and salvation. So that's the Chaplet of Divine Mercy, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. Eastern Time on EWTN Radio. Okay.
And you can always send us pictures of your pets and tell us a story about them by emailing us at take2@ewtn.com, just like John did earlier and sent us a picture. We love pictures. I'm such a visual person. I need pictures. Okay, we're going to go. You're visual too. I think you're a visual learner too,
Definitely.
Jerry. Yeah. Helen is in the great state of Texas on Guadalupe Radio Network. Hi, Helen. Thanks for waiting and welcome.
Hello, beautiful couple with beautiful voices. Oh, I just love to hear y'all day in, day out. But I have, we are a dog family and have been since since I first married my husband. He had a pet, and then we had pets where I come from. So we love animals. We have 4. They're outside dogs, and they're my guardian angels outside. My husband is a stroke victim, and he's nonverbal, and I feel safe with my labs, and I have different size the 4 dogs outside. So that's just one added thing that I wanted to say. I didn't tell Matt that, but I feel like the dogs are outside, and I'm safe inside. I feel they're my guardian angels. Mm-hmm. But what I was really calling about was my inside dogs, and one that is a pug, and I have never experienced a pug. I've had dachshunds, we've had Yorkies. In fact, we have a senior Yorkie right now, and I had a sad experience with her when she was taking care of business. We live out in the country, and she was taking care of business, and somehow a rattlesnake bit her, bit her, I guess, in her eye. And the immediate reaction, taking her to the vet, saved her life. So we still have her. But then February, for my birthday, I get Oliver. And Oliver is 6 months old, and he is very, very active. I can't even explain to you how active he is. In fact, I was looking into some pills for him, and they said, well, he's too young. You know, they do have them. I'm sure you all are aware that they have calming treats. And, he loves me, and he loves my husband, and he respects the wheelchair. He's just a very loving dog. My concern is that for supper, he has a habit of following my husband, and he's becoming to be a beggar. And they have treats galore, and treats are very expensive nowadays. Sure. And I'm going like, I like to give them treats. That's a reward for being a good dog, a nice dog, for minding. But you can give a whole bag of treats to Oliver, but he continues to be Oliver.
Yeah. What is Helen? Real quick, what is the main point that you were going to bring up about Oliver? So we can comment on that. We've got Jeff in New Mexico we want to get to in a minute. Can you get to that point, Helen?
The main point of Oliver is that when my husband is eating, he likes to stand up on close to his knees. And I was washing dishes the other night, and I noticed that my husband was eating, and then he leaves a little bit of food and gives it to Oliver, and Oliver likes that and eats the rest of the food, but then he eats with the same spoon. My concern, I said, that's not a good habit, and I don't know, because I feel that the dog tongue has lots of bacteria, and that's my feeling. And I'm telling him, you cannot do this. If you want to, you have to have 2 spoons.
Yeah, well, Helen, I would say what Debbie just typed over to me. Talk to a vet about this. Neither one of us is a veterinarian. It could be a hygiene issue. I mean, the fact that, Duke licks me all over the place, my face and everything, I'm not that concerned about that. I feed him from the table sometimes, probably shouldn't do that, but I don't feed him with a spoon, the same spoon that I eat off of. So I think your best bet would be to talk to a vet about that. Can we get your husband's first name, Helen? If you're comfortable giving us his name, we'd like to add him and you in our prayer book.
Oh, thank you so much. Mike and Helen.
Mike, okay. Debbie's already got Mike in the prayer book, Helen, and you, and thank you. God bless you. Thank you so much for that beautiful phone call.
Yeah, I would definitely talk to the dogs, the veterinarian. That's a great idea. Okay, Jeff is in New Mexico waiting patiently on the EWTN app. We're running out of time, Jeff, but we wanted to squeeze you in. Welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll be brief this time, I promise. It's been a while since I talked to you guys.
Yeah, good to hear from you again.
Jerry had mentioned earlier about pets feeding souls. So we have many pets in our house, but we have one cat, Katie, and she likes to come downstairs every night, right in the evening time, and just so I come upstairs and lay down and go to bed. And every morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, like an alarm clock, she'll get about an inch away from my face, and all she wants is to snuggle up next to me in my arms and let me rub her for a little while. And, this is a every single morning event. And this morning, I lay there and I go through some prayers and read the morning scriptures. And I was sitting there this morning and I was just kind of thumbing through. And it kind of hit me about feeding your souls, how this cat is the perfect representation of your relationship with God. God takes care of everything for you. He feeds you. He gives you water. He helps you find a place to live. He knows you need all that. But at the end of the day, what makes you truly happy, we're the cat. And we just want to snuggle up in his arms and get that love as much as we can all day long. And I just figured I just wanted to share that with you guys because I was like, you know what? This is a great topic because that hit me this morning. And you are so right. Sometimes just the little things, you ponder them a little bit, and it just helps. It's like a parable sometimes. It helps put things into visualization.
Yeah, wow. Jeff, great call. And you've got an amazing cat, and you, of course, are an amazing guy to accommodate the cat whenever the cat wants something, which is happens in most of our households. When the pet wants something, they usually get it. But in your case, it's a beautiful, mutually loving relationship. And I love the way you tied in God into all of this. Yes, God provides everything for us. In fact, I was thinking of a show topic, Debbie, and I made a note of it. I'm gonna put a topic on the calendar. How are you doing about giving God control in your life? Do you have trouble giving God total control in your life? Jeff, thank you very much. Debbie, if you want to comment on Jeff's call, I didn't mean to hog.
I just want to say that emotionally hit me. What a great way to end this incredible broadcast and conversation about our pets. Mary and Colleen and Jennifer, we're not going to get to you today, but we'll revisit this topic again in the near future. You can always email us at take2@ewtn.com. Jerry, we got a very serious, urgent show scheduled for tomorrow about troubled teens.
It's tough growing up in today's world. A lot of teens are in trouble, sometimes due to their own choices, sometimes just due to circumstances. So we're going to talk about troubled teens tomorrow on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
But until then, we want to wish the entire Take Two family a beautiful and blessed day. We ask St. Joseph, please pray for all of us. See you real soon.
This is Conversations with Consequences, where we delve deep